What is something unrealistic that you often see in movies that annoys the hell out of you? The beatings people take and how quickly they get up from devastating blows. Or when someone is knocked unconscious and remains so for hours to days and is totally fine. If you are straight knocked TF out for an hour and then wake up, you aren't just gonna shake the cobwebs out and get back to taking down an entire mob family. You are fucked up. How long was I out? Quote, a few minutes. That's like super bad for you. You should go to the hospital. I love Archer for details like concussions and tinnitus. At the same time, Mallory groups 6 357s into the middle of Archer's chest and he's fine. I love Archer. When people slice the palm of their hand open for a drop of blood, that shit will take forever to heal. Just prick your finger. Damn. Looking at you, supernatural. The amount of times they slice their forearms for blood. They should look like recovered cutters with scars all over the damn place. People taking their eyes off the road for like 5 seconds. They always turn themselves completely around to talk to people in the back seat or beside them, as if they couldn't hear each other otherwise. I genuinely had a friend that would do that. You'd ask him a question and he'd completely look at you. It was fucking terrifying. You'd be sitting in the backseat and he'd be driving on the interstate just staring at you. Look up front. Brian. Greater than I genuinely had a friend. Rip Brian. How mature the high school students look. Have you ever looked at a high school yearbook? When I was in elementary school I was so excited to be a high schooler because I would look so grown up and mature. Fuck you Disney Channel for lying to me. Somebody writing flawless code in 60 seconds. Most hackers in films even hack into highly secured government websites within seconds. Heck, I'm in. Immediate DNA results. Similarly, immediate hacking. Asterisk 2 seconds typing asterisk, I'm in. Quote, there is obviously no coffee in the cup. Orders coffee, immediately takes huge ass sip. Dude, let that shit cool off a minute. I used to think that was fake too. But my wife actually does that. We pour 2 cups of coffee in the morning. While I am blowing and sipping to cool that shit down, she has finished her first cup and poured her second. It is freaky. Need a guy out of plot for a little while? Why not just hit him on the head really hard? Yeah, he'll probably just have a nap and a 10-second headache when he wakes up. Sorry, John was unconscious for a full minute and now is a vegetable. Blowing up a grainy picture makes it clearer. Enhance. Uncrop. Fuckers who yank out their IVs tugged on mine once and I fucking cried. I remember waking up from a surgery and trying to do this when I was a kid because I was groggy and scared and the pain was so bad I threw up on myself. You were a much braver kid than I was. I got an IV as a child. A nurse said try not to move too much. So I lay there like a statue for hours, not even talking, thinking something bad will happen if I move. People with long hair, often women, fighting with their hair down. I can't even eat noodle soup with my hair down, never mind doing anything remotely physical. People Googling exactly what's happening to them and getting the answers they're looking for. Happens a lot in scary movies. The house is being haunted by the ghost of a tall man. And the owners Google tall man ghost and find exactly the article that explains who the ghost is and what happened to Hi Monsieur. If nothing else, they should get a thread talking about it with no answers. Greater than, yeah, there's this guy with no face who keeps ringing my doorbell every night. Any idea what's going on with that? Bob minus 2210, the 1st of May 2013. Greater than, ask him what he wants and let us know. Stan minus 1430, the 2nd of May 2013. Greater than, okay. BRB. Bob minus 2206, the 2nd of May 2013. Greater than, find out anything? Stan minus 1224, the 4th of May 2013. Greater than, Stan minus 1920, the 6th of August 2013. Greater than anything? Stan minus 1403, the 3rd of May 2015. Or, the old classic of greater than deleted, greater than LO man, that solves the mystery perfectly. Thank you. Greater than edit, NVM, found the answer by myself. Everyone has breakfast together before heading off to work, school to get an early start, and the level of sunlight outside indicates it's about 1:35 p.m. Monsieur. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Thanks everyone. Kids having breakfast, coffee together before school. Period. High school starts at like 7:30 a.m. Pretty sure I was barely making it to class on time, just coming directly from my house. Edit. To clarify, I mean breakfast out at a restaurant, coffee shop with their friends. Not at home with their siblings. And holy shit, I've never had a comment blow up like this before. I opened my account and thought something was wrong, haha. Working as a waitress, or some other near minimum wage, poverty wage job, and having excessive time off and money and things. Like huge houses. This exact thing, the single mom waitress in a 3,000 square foot apartment with a 2-year-old car. And an amazing haircut. I fucking hate that beyond belief. Another version of that is basically anyone on HGTV. My husband is a part-time kindergarten teacher and I make artisanal toilet seats. We have a budget of $8 million. Craig and Stotch are looking for a 2-story frame that's near Craig's job in the downtown, but also satisfies Stacey's need to be near the beach, which is nowhere near Craig's job. With 3 children and 9 on the way. And a max budget of $7. Let's see what Lori Jo can do on this week's episode of You Don't Deserve a Beach House. John Mulaney. The food. The poor, long-suffering food. No one eats it. No one enjoys it. People go to restaurants primarily to order something, have it arrive, and then have an argument and storm out. To be fair, by take 28, the food's probably cold and dry as fuck. Or can you imagine they bring it out fresh every time and the actor's just eating steak after steak? Bad guy receives a mortal wound like a point-blank gunshot to the torso or deep knife wound and just lays there bleeding profusely for a minute with the protagonist immediately forgetting about them. Then is able to somehow stand up and have like an 8-round boxing match with the protagonist before finally being finished off. In addition to that, I hate it when the protagonist gets the upper hand, but then they just bolt. Like the girl manages to hit the serial killer on the head with a crowbar. Then she drops the crowbar and runs away, only for the serial killer to get up and chase after her. If I was in that situation and I managed to knock out the bad guy, I wouldn't stop hitting him until he is most definitely dead. Would expand that to fatally injured characters in general, all getting the power to teleport when not on screen. No cleanup after sex, or before, or after a raunchy night of sex. Wake up dressed in either underwear or pajamas, nice shirt and with perfect makeup. Women wearing bras during sex. Or if no bra, she has to wrap a bedsheet around her herself, or leave the bedroom carrying her clothes. Like, he just saw you naked. Seeing you get dressed is the opposite of what you just did. You don't have to hide it. Do some camera cuts. Don't film the broad walking with a bedsheet on. I would actually be incredibly annoyed if someone ripped my sheet off my bed and dragged it around the house. Christ. Just ask and I'll give you a spare change of clothes or a dressing gown or something. The standard car flips over 5 times and catches on fire, and every single fucking time Vin Diesel walks out unscathed. Worse still because he's not even been cast in the film. The fight-or-flight response doesn't seem to exist in horror movies. If I come across a friend's dead body in the woods, my first instinct isn't to investigate the scene. I am getting the fuck out of there and calling the police. Edit. In the context that the presence of a killer is there, silencers do not mute the gun. It only makes the sound more tolerable. The scene in John Wick 2 where John and Cassian are sneakily shooting at each other with silenced pistols in the middle of a crowded subway terminal is so fucking stupid and I love it. And John Wick mostly got the gun stuff right. He reloads, not after 12 shots out of a revolver, has trigger discipline, and actually carries his rounds. I was actually upset at that scene because they got most of the stuff right but failed so much on it. While I agree it's unrealistic, I wouldn't have it any other way. Movie silencers are so badass. Never saying goodbye, or equivalent. When finishing a phone call, they just hang up. Also, making plans with someone without specifying the time and or place. Him. Can I take you out for dinner tonight? For sure, pick me up at 8. Him at 8. I really should have asked for her number. Or her address. Or name. Or, there's an SNL sketch about that. How it takes less than a week to develop a vaccine for a global pandemic, and by a brilliant scientist who was kicked out of their institution for being too radical. And it's one scientist who comes up with a final solution that they of course inject themselves with it first and have their results instantly. That's not how science works. And that's definitely not what testing a vaccine looks like. How bullets are flying all over and the good guys don't get hit once. Heroes never reloading their weapons. Or when they do, and they just drop the magazine and go. Those things aren't cheap. If you're an 80s action movie star, you just throw guns down after they run out of ammo and take up the ones from the bad guys you just took down, and they're magically full instead. Repeat that process until you get to the ultimate bad guy, where everyone is supposed to throw their guns away and turn it into a fist fight. When some stranger comforts or distracts a kid from something horrible with some bullshit. The kid just saw their mom get eaten by a werewolf, a toy train, and the hero hugging them does nothing. I also hate how most kids act like drugged up placid morons. Or on the opposite end of that scale, possess the wisdom of an 80-yo and the adults are clueless. In movies and TV, all children from underprivileged environments are magically mature, have great adult life skills, take care of their entire family, and have patience enough and wisdom enough to do all of this effectively. While that occasionally happens in real life, the vast majority of children growing up in those kinds of environments have never even had that kind of behavior modeled for them. They often even reach adulthood without properly developing these skills. Apparently, in Hollywood, the cycle of poverty, abuse, violence just doesn't exist. And instead, poverty, abuse, violence is kind of like a healthy family living camp, where one learns all they need to know about how to raise a thriving family. Guns with infinite ammo, people having a shootout inside, and then a normal voiced conversation moments later. Spoiler: SWAT teams don't use suppressors for stealth. They use them because firing a rifle inside is loud as fuck. Suppressed gunfire is still loud as fuck. Guns that click and clack whenever they're moved. Or bad guy draws a hammerless Glock and it makes the sound of a revolver being cocked. I need information from this computer. Tech guy runs over and starts hammering wildly on the keyboard. I'm in. The keyboard is plugged into an Xbox, and the OS is Windows 2000. Whenever someone is working on a vehicle, they are quite often using a pipe wrench or huge crescent wrench. Neither are going to get you too far working on a vehicle. Women shipwrecked wearing sleeveless tops and not having underarm hair. Apocalypse movies too. Smooth pits all around. We need food, water, medicine, and razors, or else we'll never make it. Quote. Next time you see two characters having a conversation in the front of a car, pay attention to the rearview mirror. More often than not, it's been removed for a cleaner shot of the characters. Headrests on the front seats too. Courtroom confessions, but also just courtroom scenes in general. First, nobody confesses to a crime while on the witness stand at somebody else's trial. Nobody. Second, have you been to court? It's 97% waiting around, 2% wondering if you have time to go to the bathroom, and 1% anything to do with you or your case. Exactly. And cases go on for months, sometimes even years. And judges do not take last-minute evidence and do not accept interruptions or anything like that. At least not in Australia. You cannot walk randomly into a courtroom while a hearing or trial is in progress. Kids are rarely used as witnesses and are treated with disrespect by the defendant's lawyer. Usually talked into believing they misremember what they saw, experienced. Their evidence becomes so dicey they usually have to throw it out. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.